Good morning, everyone. This is Mike Montefusco from the National Weather Service office in Wakefield, Virginia. This is our Thursday weekly briefing for June the 26th, 2025. Let's go ahead and look at some of our weather highlights for today as we head on into the upcoming weekend. We do have a heat advisory that is in effect for the lion's share of our area. The only place that does not have a heat advisory at this time is the Maryland beaches, also known as the Ocean City, Maryland immediate area. Heat index values generally in the 105 to 109 range will be common across the area today. There is some short-lived relief that is possible as we get into the day tomorrow on into tomorrow afternoon and evening. That is as a coastal front kind of moves along the immediate coast. So the northern neck, the Virginia peninsulas, the eastern shore. You'll notice a little bit cooler temperatures tomorrow, not quite as oppressively hot as we've seen over the past couple of days, but generally still another warm few days ahead. In general, while the heat has abated for today, and you'll notice that there is a modest improvement over the heat of earlier this week. There is still very hot, humid conditions that will persist through the upcoming weekend and into the middle of next week. So certainly not quite as hot as we've had over the past couple of days, but still those heat measures that we need to take, we will still need to take them over the next couple of days. As far as afternoon showers and storms, there is still some scattered afternoon showers and storms that are expected today and tomorrow with respect to the potential for some isolated stronger storms that are possible. Those storms will actually kind of be into the forecast through early next week. But really today and tomorrow, you'll notice more widespread showers and storms that will develop generally in the later afternoon and evening time frames. So more standard summertime convection in terms of later afternoon, evening showers and storms. In terms of marine weather, generally benign marine conditions are expected through the upcoming weekend. There is a very brief period where we might have some near small craft advisory conditions Saturday afternoon and evening, and we will break that out in the meat of the briefing here. So let's go ahead and look at the heat advisory that it's in effect for today. Again, those dangerous heat precautions that we were looking at and observing earlier in the week, those are still going to come into play. So certainly the heat that we've noted over the past couple of days has kind of lessened up in intensity just a little bit. So we're not seeing any of those heat indices, generally 110 plus over the area as we get into the next couple of days for our region. But that said, we are still looking for heat index values averaging into the 105 to 108 to 109 range today. So certainly take it easy outside if you can. Wear light colored clothing. Try not to spend too much time exerting yourself in the heat of the day. Drink plenty of water. Make sure that water is with you regardless of whether you're actually feeling thirsty or not. So keep hydrated, take frequent breaks if you can. Those common sense heat precautions still come into play as we get into the rest of the day today and certainly even into the next few days. In terms of the heat risk, again, you can kind of see the scale there on the lower left, but just looking at the scales for Thursday and in the next few days ahead, you'll notice a little bit of easing, especially north of Richmond on the eastern shore, northern neck, peninsulas. That is just with that backdoor front that will be dropping down into the region tomorrow. So there will be a little bit of modest easing of that heat effect over the area tomorrow, especially northern portions of the area, north and northeastern portions of the area. But that front kind of buckles back north as we get into the weekend and into early next week. So you are going to start to see that heat start to come back at its more typical summer oppressiveness, I guess you would say, in terms of heat index values getting back into the 105 to 109 range as we get into Saturday and Sunday and into early next week. So more typical hot, humid conditions versus the rather extreme conditions that we had earlier on in the week. That's a little bit less frequent climatologically across our region that we observed earlier on in the week. That's for now history for us, but we'll see how that goes later on in the summer. But for the time being, just more standard hot, humid conditions versus the extreme heat of earlier on this week. In terms of the weather pattern ahead, generally rather nebulous, hot, humid pattern, which you're going to see kind of rinse and repeat over the next few days here. Max heat indices generally in that 105 to 109 range for today, and then you're going to start to see those slight improvements with respect to max heat indices as you get into the weekend here, but certainly, heat index values right around 105 are going to be something that will be kind of lingering across the region as we get into the next few days. So there will be some modest improvement, but still, those heat precautions are still going to need to be taken. In terms of those heat indices forecast for the next few days, you can certainly see the warmest period here is basically in the near term here, next couple of days, and then just a little bit of a modest cool down, if you will, for the next following days and the subsequent days to follow the weekend into early next week. So still remaining hot, but a little bit more manageably so as you get into Saturday and then into early next week. Those heat index values, once again, they're gonna jump back up to around 105, 106, 107 over the weekend into early next week. But certainly the worst of it is going to be into the day today for the remainder of the day here, and then some modest improvements in the day ahead. But again, remaining on the hot side, so those heat precautions are still going to need to be observed. In terms of that severe thunderstorm potential today, tonight, there is a marginal risk, a level 1 of 5 risk across the region. So there is some scattered showers and storms that are anticipated to pop up heat of the day, late afternoon, evening type usual thunderstorms that kind of pop up. One or two of those might be strong to severe. So certainly there could be a couple of pulse type thunderstorms that pop up, produce some stronger winds and some lightning and some heavy rainfall and move on their way. That's going to be the kind of a rinse and repeat type of situation for tomorrow. Kind of much the same situation for tomorrow. And then over the weekend into early next week, it's more garden variety, if you will, isolated to widely scattered showers and storms that pop up heat of the day, afternoon, evening type showers and storms. Not really any stronger storms anticipated, just kind of slow moving heavy rainers that it could produce some gustier winds, but widespread severe weather is certainly not anticipated as you get into the weekend early next week. But certainly, again, that hot, humid pattern kind of holds as we get into early next week. The storm threats for the next couple of days here today and tomorrow. Again, those damaging winds are going to be the main threat. So some quick wet microbursts that put down some damaging winds on a local scale typically are going to be what we're anticipating. So perhaps some SPSs or isolated warnings are possible, but generally wind damage is going to be the main concern. There could be some isolated, marginally severe hail, but I think damaging winds, lightning, and heavy rainfall are going to be the main threats. We do have an excessive rainfall outlook for the next couple of days. Again, those storms that pop up are going to be rather slow movers. There's not going to be a whole lot of steering current that's going to move these storms around to a great degree. So the storms that pop up are going to tend to stick around for a little bit. So there is a low end threat of some localized flooding. In some instances of flash flooding, certainly in those flood-prone areas, urban areas, we're going to have to watch out for over the next couple of days. As we get into Saturday, Sunday, again, more isolated coverage over the weekend, early next week. So flash flooding is not really anticipated over the weekend, but again, we'll keep an eye on things as we get into the weekend and early next week. Taking a look at the QPF or accumulated precipitation forecast as we get into the next couple of days. Again, with that front kind of pushing down into the region, there is some heavier precipitation that's possible across the northern half of our area up into northern Virginia. And then over the weekend into early next week, there is along the coast some chances of some additional locally heavier rainfall that develops with those thunderstorms. But generally, again, no widespread heavy rainfall is anticipated through the next week or so. Breaking out that regional forecast summary for you real quick. Again, kind of peaking next couple of days in terms of that heat, but remaining warm, very hot or very warm to hot for the next couple of days, and then some relief on a more widespread basis as we get into the middle to latter portions of next week. The precipitation forecast, as you can kind of see, generally late day and evening is going to be the mode of convection, more summertime convection as we get into the next few days. Rip current forecast generally going to be on the low side. Next couple of days, there is the chance of some moderate rip risk for our area beaches as we get into the day on Saturday. So watch out for that if you are headed towards our beaches. In terms of the tropical briefing, there really isn't any formation that it's anticipated the next 7 days. If you blinked, you might have missed Andrea, which developed earlier on this week. Andrea has since lost its tropical characteristics and is off the board there. Nothing additional is anticipated over the next 7 days. Looking ahead to next week and beyond, generally that heat kind of sticks around as we get into the first portion of July here. So our signal is looking for more near to above normal temperatures as we get into the first week of July, the first full week of July. Temperatures generally near or above normal, and precipitation generally near or above normal as well. So kind of a warm, wet pattern as we get into kicking off the month of July. Coming up just next week, which is actually, believe it or not, here we come into July. As far as the marine threat potential, generally not a whole heck of a lot in terms of marine potential, kind of a more benign pattern in terms of the marine side of things. As we get into Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, there is a brief period where we could have some gusts in the lower bay, especially where we could have some gusts to near small craft levels along the lower bay and into the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay, and perhaps even into the Currituck Sound of lower James River. But really beyond that, fairly quiet. More widespread threat with our next front that drops towards the local waters as we get into Monday afternoon and evening. Once again, fairly brief and short-lived with that. Breaking that out, you can kind of see again that brief period of some small craft potential Saturday afternoon, evening time frame, and then once again later in the day on Monday and on into the day on Tuesday. Taking a look at the wave height forecast, again, well below any small craft thresholds for a large part here. Again, the lower bay, you might have a brief period of some small craft potential in the lower bay Saturday afternoon, evening with showers that might develop as well. But generally, for the most part, sub-small craft across the region. That is our briefing for today, the 26th day of June. We will go ahead and reconvene with this as we get into next week, the 30th of June. Until that time, have a great weekend, and we will talk to you again on Monday. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend.